Hi, and welcome to M. Claire's Yoga and Wellness channel. Today's yoga flow is an ultimate full body recovery and stretching yoga flow. So for any of those in training at the moment who are finding their bodies are really tired and fatigued, this is going to be a great flow for you. And for those of you that may not be training for anything, but have really been pushing yourselves to reach your ultimate goals in your body and find that you are really feeling a need for something to really stretch out those muscles and try and help your body to find that nice relaxing state, then this also is a perfect flow for you. Today's flow is not going to be full of advanced poses. It's really about just helping the body to lengthen those muscles that are really tight and to open up some of the areas. If you are training running, you'll find that you often get tight hammies and really tight glutes. And same for if you're a cyclist or a swimmer, you might get stiff in the shoulders where you're leaning over your bike or you're powering through those Ks or miles, depending on which one you use. Now, for those that have seen some of my videos will know that I'm currently training for the Ironman, which I dedicated to a very dear friend of mine who sadly passed away, with stage 4 cancer last year. And so it has been a real journey. And although my background many years ago was a swimmer, the Ironman incorporates quite a few different things. So you do the swimming, the running, and the cycling, and then you put it all together, and it's over a really long distance, especially if you're doing the full like me. So when you're pushing your body to limits that you haven't or you're not used to, you really can find your body suffers. So it's really important that when you do push your body to its limits, you must also incorporate a lot of these ultimate full body recovery flows to really help you to keep progressing and bettering your performance. Because if you're just pushing, but you're not allowing those muscles to relax and stretch out, you're eventually going to either hurt yourself, hit a brick wall where you no longer can improve, and also it no longer becomes enjoyable. So I really encourage anyone out there that's pushing either big running events, swimming events, Ironman like myself, to really keep putting in these recovery yoga flows where we really focus on a lot of stretching. So please enjoy, relax, and like I said, it's not going to be anything too advanced. I just want you to feel good and enjoy this ultimate full body recovery yoga flow, focusing on stretching. Let's get started. Okay, let's come into a child's pose. Bring and let's just take a few minutes to stay in this pose and really ground ourselves. Find a nice peaceful place right now where it's just you and your mat. And I just out of this recovery yoga flow. As we're in the child's pose, allow your breathing to go in through your nose and then slowly exhale through your mouth. By focusing on our breathing, it really does help the body to relax as well. So take a moment to just keep inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. your hands towards the left side of your room. And you just want to feel that stretch down the right side of your body. Don't drop your hips to one side. I want you to stay in a neutral position. And just keep moving until you find that spot that you can get the most stretch from the finger to all the way down to through your glutes. Then come through the center and take your hands towards the right side of the room and just finding that stretch down the left side of your body. Come back to the center. Then come back onto your knees, coming into our tabletop. And I just want you to move your hips side to side. Getting into your hip joint here. This should feel really good for anyone that has really tight glutes and where you're holding the tension in your hip area. And if you feel comfortable, you can come all the way down, looking over your left shoulder. Deepen in the stretch here. Come back to the center and then change sides. Come back into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Let's come up into our downward facing dog. Now this is the first one of our practice, so you may be a little bit stiff. If you have a bend in the knee, come up on your toes, and eventually we'll work our way down to having our heels touching the mat, nice straight legs. And then push through your hands, and you want to try and bring your chest towards the floor. If you'd like to, you can also walk your feet on the spot here, just helping you to get into your hamstrings, especially if you're very tight in these areas. Then hold your downward facing dog. Breathe here. Reaching your sternum towards the mat and really pushing your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Then bring your right foot forward, step in between your hands, coming into our high lunge. And I want you just to stay here for a moment. Make sure your knee doesn't come over the front of your right toes. And you really want to sink your hips down here, getting into those really tight areas. If you want to add a little movement side to side as well, you can do, just till you find the spot that really makes the most benefit for you. Then drop your back knee, coming into low lunge. And again, sink your hips again. Then we're going to come on up, interlace your fingers, point your index finger towards the ceiling and add a little back bend here. If this doesn't feel good for you, then please just stay in your low lunge. Then and come forward and reach your right hand, take hold of your back leg and pull your heel. And if it feels okay to you, you can also roll to the outside of your right foot, just deepening that stretch. Extend your back leg, tuck your toes, coming into our high lunge again. Step back into plank, engage your core, and come through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Try and keep your thighs off the mat, shoulders down, and feel that really nice stretch through your core. And then push up into our downward facing dog again. Each time just seeing if your heels are getting closer to the mat and if some of that hamstring tension is starting to alleviate. Then step your left foot forward in between your hands, coming into your high lunge on the opposite side, and we'll repeat it all over again. So make sure that back leg is nice and straight. Sink your hips down. Again, if you want to add a little movement side to side, you can do, just finding the right spot for you. Remembering to focus on your breathing. So when we are in a recovery workout, we often still feel very tense and tight and sore, so it can be quite difficult to relax. So it's important to breathe through some of these poses so that we can get the benefit of the stretching, but also allowing our muscles to relax as well, which will help us to feel much, much better in the end. Then drop your back knee, coming into our low lunge. Again, sinking your hips here. And you might find that you're really stiff on one side and not so much on the other. That's really normal. We wish we were all perfect on both sides, but that's rarely the case. So just be kind to your body and work with what you've got. Then reach your hand back, take hold of your back leg, pulling your heel towards your glute, coming into this really nice quadricep stretch. Again, if you'd like to roll onto the outside of your left foot, just deepening the stretch, getting into your hips, then you can do. And like I said before, if this is still a bit too difficult for you, too tight, stay in your low lunge. And let's extend the back leg, tuck your toes, coming into your high lunge again. And then step back into plank. Engage your core here. Pulling your navel towards your spine, nice long flat back, and through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And push back into downward facing dog. This time extend your right leg into three-legged downward dog. You can stay here, or you can also open up your hips, bringing your heel towards your glute. And for any of you that this is with, and if you can't, then please just stay in your three-legged downward dog. And then come back round, back into our three-legged downward dog. And then step your right foot to the outside of the mat, coming into lizard. Side of your knee. And you can either stay with your knee up or you can drop your knee and tuck your toes. And then take your hand to push your inside of your knee out just to deepen the stretch and add a little back bend here. So if this feels better for your body, you can do this position, really getting into the hip area and adding the back bend. And if this doesn't feel good for you, you can either stay in this position or to deepen the stretch, you can stay here and just hold it. So it's up to you which variation you like to use. Then bring your hands to the center, tuck your back toes, step back into plank, engage your core, and through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog, and push back into downward facing dog. Again, just checking in where you are. Do you feel that those muscles are starting to relax and that your hamstrings aren't as tense when you're moving through some of these poses that we're repeating? Or are you still finding it challenging? But I hope if you are, by the end of it, you will definitely feel the ultimate full body recovery benefits of this flow. Okay, extend your left leg into three-legged downward dog. Again, you can either stay here or you can open your hips here, bringing your heel towards your glute. And if it's within your practice, you can also come into your flip dog, making sure you don't have anything behind you. And when you're ready, come back into your three-legged downward dog. And then step your left foot to the outside of your mat, coming into our lizard. And here you're going to choose whichever variation feels best for your body. If you feel opening to the outside of your left foot helps you to get deeper into it and staying here, then choose this option. Or drop your back knee and tuck your toes. And then just give that knee a little push to get into the back bend and a bit deeper into those hips. And when you're ready, tuck those back toes, step back into plank. Again, engaging your core, nice flat backs here. Hold for 3 breaths. And if you need to, please drop down to your knees. And through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And this time, let's push back into our child's pose. Bring your forehead in between your hands. And if you'd like to deepen this stretch as well, you can open your knees, keeping your toes together, to the outside of your mat. Just getting a little deeper into Get into your triceps here, which is a lovely stretch if you're been to the gym and you're a bit tight on this one too. Bring your hands in prayer position and you're just going to bring them over the top of your head. And extend your arms if you're in your tricep pose. Bring your knees together, coming back into our tabletop. Here we're just going to add some cat-cows, just getting into the spine, adding a bit of mobility again. So you're going to tilt your tailbone, look up toward the ceiling. And you can add a bit of movement with this too, or you can stay stationary, whichever you feel is best. And then you're going to bring your chin towards your chest, round through your spine. And then repeat at your own pace. And last one. Come back into neutral. Tuck your toes. Push up into our downward facing dog. And this time we're just going to take a few steps forward to the front of our mat, coming into our standing forward fold. You can have a bend in your knee here. Just depends where you feel you are. You can also add a little walk on the spot here, the same as we did with our downward facing dog, just getting into the hamstrings where they're a little bit tense still. Come into neutral. Allow your body to just hang like a rag doll. You can take hold of your elbows if that's also feels better for you and you can relax more. And you're just going to make sure that you're bending from your hips, not from your lower back. Place your hands on the floor, halfway lift, or bring it on your hands, depending where you are. Bend your knees and then slowly roll up into our mountain pose. Engage your core. Have your palms facing to the front of the room. Keep your shoulders down. I just want you to close your eyes here and focus on your breathing and your balance. Really feel grounded through the soles of your feet. And then interlace your fingers behind you and just bring your hands towards the floor, adding a little back bend. Again, if this doesn't feel good for you, then please stay in mountain pose. Come on up. Bring your hands over the top of your head, interlace your fingers, pointing your index finger up, and you're going to reach your fingertips to the right side of the room, imagining that you are sliding down a wall so that you're nice and straight. You're not coming at an angle, and you can get that lovely stretch all the way down the left side of your body. Come back through the center, and then change sides. Come back through the center and swan dive back down into your standing forward fold. And again, let's stay here for a moment. breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take a slight bend in your knees, and then you're going to step back into your high lunge with your left foot. Again, sinking your hips here. Place your left hand next to your right foot, and then reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Then come back through the center. Again, you can add a little movement here just to deepen your stretch. Then just going to extend into pyramid. If you need to, you can also and at an angle. Come to wherever feels most comfortable for you. Try and have nice, long, flat backs. And again, we're going to add our twist here. Careful with your balance. Come back through the center. Bend your knee, coming back into our high lunge. And then step back into plank. Engage your core. And this time you're just going to step your left foot forward, coming into your high lunge again on the opposite side. Sinking your hips, again adding movement if need be. Then place your right hand next to your left foot, adding your nice spinal twist here. Reaching those fingertips towards the ceiling. Then come back into high lunge. And here we're going to extend into pyramid. Again, if you need to bring your foot a bit closer and at an angle, then please do. And if you're like me, that's suffering from an injury, just be patient with yourself. It can be very frustrating. And when it doesn't look as good or feel as good on the opposite side, you have to just say, it's just about your body and recovering. Then place your hand, again adding the nice twist here. Then come back in center, back into your high lunge. And then step back into plank. Then come down onto our forearm plank, engage your core. And here we're just going to do dip side to side, just getting into our obliques here. Two more on each side. And then come back into your forearm plank. Come back into plank. And through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And push back into downward facing dog. This time, I want you to have a slight bend in the knee, and you're going to jump to the outside of your mat, coming into our Malasana, our wide-legged yogic squat. Make sure that your tailbone is coming towards the mat, you're sitting up straight, and use your elbows to push your knees out to get deeper into our hip areas, and then keep your hands in prayer position. And if you want to as well, you can also add a bit of movement just to open things up a little bit as well. Or if you prefer, you can stay stationary. And you can take your one hand and add a little twist here as well. If you'd like to come into the full bind, then please feel free to do so. And carefully come back out, change sides, come through, prayer position in the center. Place your left palm down next to your left knee, add your little twist, or come into your full bind. And carefully come back out, back into center. Place your hands in the center of your mat and step back into plank. Engage your core. And come through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Keeping those thighs off the mat. Lengthening through your abdominals. And then push back into downward facing dog. Extend your right leg into three-legged downward dog. And then step forward, and we're going to come into our Skandasana. Sinking your hips down. And again, if you'd like to deepen this stretch here, you can place your hand down. Reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. And again, if you'd like to come into your bind here, you can. All of these are dependent on where you are in your yoga practices, whether this is within your practice. So please use whichever variation suits you and your body and how you are today with the tightness or the stiffness or the fatigue on your own body. Carefully come back out, come back into center, and then Skandasana to the back of the mat. Carefully watching your balance. And again, we're going to repeat on the opposite side here. So either stay here or add a little twist or coming into your bind. And when you're ready, carefully come back out. And we're actually just going to hold on coming into our wide-legged forward fold. Pigeon toe our feet inwards. You can either stay here or you can come down onto your forearms. Or if it's within your practice, you can also bring your forehead towards the mat, reaching your fingertips to the back of the room. And for those who are a little more advanced, if you'd like to take hold of your right foot and add a twist here, you can. Come back to the center, change sides. Carefully come back into the middle. Come back into our Malasana. Move side to side. Opening up into the hips. Again. And then we're just going to carefully place our hands on the mat. Swivel round, coming into the center. I'm going to do some seated cat-cows here. Bringing your chin towards your chest. And then pushing your chest towards the ceiling as we're slowly coming to the end of our ultimate full body recovery yoga flow. I'm hoping that you're feeling much more relaxed, stretched out, and not quite as tight. A few more exercises and then we'll be done. This time, slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, coming onto your back. Take your right leg and place it on top of your left knee, and we're going to do our reclined pigeon here. Take your fingers behind the back of your left knee, and you're just going to pull your leg towards you here. And you can use your right elbow to push the knee out to deepen the stretch, getting into your glutes. This is a fantastic stretch for so many of us that hold a lot of tension and stiffness in this area. And you can either lift your head or you can leave it on the mat, whichever you find you get the deepest stretch from. And then change sides, bring your right foot towards the mat, and then bring the left foot on top of the right knee, and then repeat on the opposite side. And then extend both legs. Bring them both down. And here you can either interlace your legs and coming into an eagle pose, or you can just keep your knees together and drop them to the side. We're going to do a nice spinal twist here. So whichever feels better for you. If you're in your eagle legs, you drop your knees towards the left and reach your fingertips towards your right fingertips towards the back of the room. And if you're doing the other variation, just drop your knees to the side and then take your gaze to the right side of the room as well. Come back through the center, change sides. And come back through the center. Bring your knees towards your chest. Come into a tight ball, and we're just going to rock side to side on your lumbar spine. When you're ready, extend your legs to the corners of the mat. Allow your arms to fall to the side of your body, coming into our final position, our Shavasana. Close your eyes. And try to allow each muscle to relax and feel your body getting heavier and heavier and sinking into the mat. Each time you feel your thoughts are wandering away, come back to your breathing. Allowing your body to find this stillness and this peace and calm is so beneficial for recovery. Bringing it back to its resting place allows it to rejuvenate and feel stronger and ready for your next hard workout, where you're going to push your body into those limits again. And if you're ready to end your practice with me today, reach your fingers over the top of your head, having one last big stretch. Take a big deep inhale through your nose. As you exhale it all out, and meet me in the center of your mat in your easy pose. Thank you so much for joining me today on this ultimate full body recovery yoga flow that has been full of stretching and allowing your body to unwind and come back to that nice resting peaceful place that is able to heal and recover from. If you did enjoy this recovery yoga flow, please like and please send me a comment. Let me know what you think. And if there's other people that are training with you, or you know, your friends or your family that you think will benefit from this ultimate full body recovery yoga flow, please share with them and help me grow this channel. Thank you so much, guys. Until I see you again, have a wonderful day and keep training hard and keep making sure you come back to do these ultimate recovery yoga flows. Take care. Until next time.